What's going on, everybody? I'm Keith, host of Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas, where 4 to 5 of my brothers give their perspective on national as well as local news. We touch on some trending hot topics as well as culturally relevant news. We also get a chance to dive into some deep core conversations. Check us out live every other Monday at 7 p.m. You can find us on Just Our Thoughts on YouTube Live, as well as Just Our Thoughts fan page on Facebook. Also, please don't forget to follow us on IG, JOT with the Fellas. What's good, fellas? What's good? What's good?
What's up?
What's going on?
What's up? What's going on, man?
Today
We just decided to do a pop-up. Welcome to those that's watching. I'm Keith, host of Just Our Thoughts, and these are the fellas. We got the Professor Kev with us. What's good, Kev?
What's up, man?
What's up? Ward Heen.
What's up?
Ward celebrating Capricorn season right now.
Capricorn season.
Yes, sir.
And we got E. Coleman. E. Coleman decided to join.
What's going on?
What's up, E. Coleman?
Looking like he at the county. He looked like he at the county. Why you look like you at the lockup or something, man?
You know, like my background. It's all my background, man.
Hey, man, we just jump on, man, and talk about a lot that was going on today. We missing our other brothers, Dre and EB. So we just taking some time, to talk about some events. Actually, just one particular event that went on that everyone knows about that went down at Capitol Hill, and it's actually around 8:00. So talk should be resuming around now. So what's going on, fellas, man? I wanted to bring you guys on, man, just to get your thoughts, man. Today is a day where we've never seen. Social media went crazy, Twitter went crazy, a lot of different comments about what went on and the different perspectives. So I just wanted to bring you fellas on, man. Welcome again, those that's watching. But just our thoughts. Thanks for joining us. Fellas, talk to me. Talk to me, man. I want to get your feedback. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get, everything, man, from you. So talk to me. What you got, man?
Man, I'll come down off the ladder today, and all I hear is, "Yo, you hear what's going on in the Capitol?" I'm like, well, yo, they done stormed the Capitol building. I'm like, wow. I said, let me go check some sources.
Right.
Man, yeah,
crazy.
It was wild to see the live images, man, of these peaceful protesters and demonstrators that were, storming the palace. Like this is some revolution. Like you said, this is something that we've never ever seen before in our time.
Right.
It looked like a modern day civil war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you saw nothing but Confederate flags, pro-Trump flags,
right.
People in pro-Trump masks. This was just out of control chaos, man. But I think it was strategic. This is exactly
what he wanted.
This is exactly what he wanted to interfere.
E. Coleman, I was at work, right? And I'm sitting there just, wrapping up work, doing a couple of things. And I see a few things come across the screen, man. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And then in the thread, I don't know, I think it was KD, you put something in the thread too. And I was just trying to figure out, yo, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Then it was some movement. What were you doing, E. Coleman, when you found out?
First of all, are we surprised? I mean, when I first heard about it, I was like, let me turn on the TV. I laughed and I said, I wasn't surprised.
Right.
And I'm going to say yes and no.
Trump already set it up that it was going to be something.
Right.
Why they didn't have protection, things in place in case is crazy to me.
Right.
So I wasn't surprised at all. When I saw it, I chuckled. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And start watching the news. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I said it figures. I mean, Trump set it up. Set it up.
Yeah, I he started that. He started that back in September at the first
Exactly.
Yeah.
debate when he made that comment.
Stand back and stand by.
So that's what I'm saying. It's no surprise, and it's crazy how it was handled, nothing. I mean, nothing happened. You know, someone did get killed. I know y'all heard that. Somebody
that woman got killed.
You gotta say to yourself, like, I mean, especially the footage of the officer that was running.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like, backing up,
like black cop.
Like wow.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. And then Trump recently have made some comments. At first, he did a tweet. You know, he could have stopped that immediately. I guess he gave all he could give.
That was overwhelming. That was overwhelming. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, man. When I saw it, I'm sitting there, and you know, I saw a tweet, you know, from Trump, and you know, I'm like, yo, this brother could do a little bit better than that. He can end this right now. You know, he could definitely end it right now by saying, you know, to conceding to, you know, to the presidency.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely could have ended that.
But yet he did that little video talking about, hey, why don't you just go home? But he said it like he really wasn't sincere about it to go home. But it was like, but yet he's still saying we won the election by a landslide, and like, dude, you lost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Why can't you, you know, do the same thing you told the Democrats 4 years ago? You lost, you know, Biden won. Get over it.
Right. What message do y'all think? What message do y'all think was sent, if there was any message?
By who?
By
the whole ordeal, or by Trump or
Trump supporters?
Well, I think it sends one message that white America is blatantly going to be dealt with in a different way than Black America. Just another blatant example,
right,
of how the American government views white protesters, not as a threat, not as a domestic terrorism, you know, not as anything that will perceive to provoke violence when they protest. However, when Black Lives Matters and that movement is in force and protesting and demonstrating over Jacob Blake and over George Floyd, we are met with hostility, you know, from not just local law enforcement, but they're calling the National Guard. You know, immediately when we're there. Alyssa Wilds had posted a picture on Facebook earlier today, and it was a picture of National Guards.
Right.
It looked like hundreds of them posted up at the Capitol building when the Black Lives Matter movement was going forth. You know what I'm saying? To see the blatant different treatment concerning protests in America. Black protests are assumed to be a threat and will be met with force.
I think
immediately.
And I think
that's the message that is going to continue to permeate. You know, just openly.
I think that's key. What you said, that it's when Black protests happen, that it's seen as a threat, not a voice or not a statement. That what we've put in place, what America has put in place for Black people, and you guys are challenging it, is a threat. You know, so I saw today, and you guys, everyone have seen, you know, just amazing, crazy footage, man, coming from Capitol Hill. One video I saw was one of the I don't even want to call him a protester, one of the terrorists macing police, macing police from their vantage point and running. And all I could think about was, you know, which everyone is saying, if that was
a Black man.
Yeah, if that was a Black movement storming in the Capitol, there's no way we would be met with just rubber bullets.
Nope.
We're going to be met with harsh force, tear gas, ammunition. You know, you think of what Representative John Lewis went through during that bloody day on the bridge. You know, that's what we would have been met with. You know what I'm saying? If not that, even more severe. But the one thing that that Keith, I just want to throw out there, the power of this individual, Donald Trump. You can't, I'm not saying I'm in awe of it, but it's just this man has a lot of influence and control. Not only has the Republican Party now been labeled the Donald Trump Party,
right?
But to see the influence and the power this man has over his base and his supporters,
Right.
they really feel like they are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't see themselves as terrorists, anarchists, agitators. They see themselves as doing what is patriotic for this country. That's what they believe.
Right.
And they're taking their lead from Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And he is a wizard. Should say the grand wizard, whatever. But he has got these people so enamored with him, his stance, that he has total control over just saying the slightest cue to provoke them, to incite them to this moment. And this is exactly what he wanted.
Because it's like they living in the land of Oz, man. He's the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And he's not going to, we're trying to expose him, but they just won't listen.
Yeah.
And what's crazy though? With all these protesters, they're not really protesters because, I will say on CNN, I got home today and they were actually saying rioters, terrorists, I think they were trying to stay on, they were going by a script and they were saying protesters. They were like, they're rioters. They're out here,
it seemed like it took them
wrong
to say that though, Ward. It seemed like
at first, yes.
Demonstrators.
Demonstrators, protesters. Now
a while.
Yeah, it did take them a while. But then I noticed this was crazy when I seen one dude dressed up in a Revolutionary War outfit running around. And then I seen a dude, I guess he thought he was Julius Caesar. He had on a toga.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's what they want. They want this man to be a dictator and to be king.
Yeah.
They don't want democracy anymore. They want to dismantle democracy and they want this guy to remain on the throne.
Yeah.
Any semblance of democracy that they can try to shred, they will shred it. They want a monocratic society. They don't, they don't want the ability to vote. They want to take election away. They want to suppress election. I got to give it to Stacey Abrams, who mobilized the people of Georgia to come out and vote and get those 2 Senate seats. You got to give her big ups.
Her thing.
Because Georgia has been targeted for voter suppression for years. You know what I'm saying? And to see them finally come out of red to blue, you got to give Stacey Abrams and her team a lot of credit. And Biden better reward her for her grassroots work.
So E. Coleman, when you saw, which we all saw, the police officer that was in the Capitol building back up, and I know Ward, you have some emotion behind it too, and feeling some thought. When they were rushing in, when they were rushing in the room, into the building, I'm sorry. What was one of the first thoughts that came through your mind? This brother was standing there, and I believe, and
solo.
Solo.
That was the biggest thing by himself.
By himself. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you break through that barrier, you're allowed to get. He's allowed to draw his gun, right, and shoot.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you ain't supposed to protect the Capitol building.
That's what I thought. So tell me what your thought is when he's standing at the door at the Capitol building, supposedly protecting this precious building of the United States of America, and this group.
That's holy ground, man.
It's holy ground. This group is trying to break in. They were trying to break in. I saw them breaking in through the side windows. They were climbing a wall. And this brother standing there, man, backing up the emotion that he possibly could have gone through, if I pull his trigger, he would probably still, as a black man, still be considered still as to be wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
But not only that.
Situation.
Go ahead, E. Go ahead.
It was a touchy situation, but like you said, he's got to, oh man, he could have, took out his weapon, pointed at him, told him to hold. They didn't.
Right.
Shoot him in the leg.
But here's the deal about that. Think about this though. He was there by himself.
Right.
Even if he did pull his weapon and possibly fire. Now, having that weapon, he's got either 10 to like 15 bullets.
Excuse me.
Now you see how many of the white folks was rushing that
door.
He couldn't take them all out.
I'm with you.
So even if he did start popping off, and I'm pretty sure he probably would have missed a couple too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it isn't like, do I really want to do this?
Right.
Because if I start popping off, or it's either they're going to retreat or they're going to attack me.
Absolutely.
Well,
So
they might shoot back.
Right. See, but here's the thing: I really didn't see anybody with guns around, and that's
I believe some of them was though.
Well, right now my cousin, right? I have a cousin that lives in DC, and I asked him. I said, "Well, is it a open carry area?" And he said, "No, it's concealed." So there you go. Everybody just got everything under their shirts or whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, dude was in a hard situation, because like when I first seen the video come on, his baton was on the ground, and he's got a radio, acting like Joe Clark. What at a 12, the enemy's here.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like it didn't help him not one bit.
Yeah.
All he do. What did he do? Run up 3 floors and nobody was there?
It looked like the only other law enforcement official was just taping his encounter
there was
with
somebody
the people.
running behind him.
Yeah, that was just filming things.
Yeah. Why is that even happening?
Because this was going to be another segment in a new movie coming out or something. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it was all staged.
Yeah. But see, the thing I saw in that is the racial disparity again. Because you cannot tell me Black law enforcement, white law enforcement, they are not going to meet white America, white protesters, white domestic terrorists. They are not going to meet them with force.
They would have never made it.
They're not going to. But what I'm saying, that black officer, he clutched his gun, looked like, then he pulled out a baton.
Right.
But he was not going to, because I just don't feel like that is how they will meet white America.
If he shot somebody, think about it, they definitely would have prosecuted his ass.
A white officer would have done the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. He was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I get that because of everything that's going on. Yeah. People getting kicked. So at a split second, he was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you need more thinking police. In situations. So it's not a right or wrong situation what he did. You know what I mean? He didn't get hurt. Thank God he didn't get hurt.
Right.
But, sometimes, things happen, and glad he got out of there safe.
It's the reason how the conversation can go from in a situation where we talk about Jacob Blake, where we talk about the young man in Philly where crisis were called and he was killed in West Philly, where it goes from protection. But the mindset is not one to talk to an individual. The mindset is we have to protect. But when it comes to us, it's shoot first. Today we saw privilege at its finest. White privilege at its
if you want to say that.
Yeah. If you want to say that word.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's at its highest.
It was on his display.
It was on his biggest display.
Yeah.
It was on his biggest display.
It was on display, but they still tried to downplay it. Did you hear some of the interviews after Trump made the video? Some of the politicians were still trying to downplay it. I love them too, but they got to do it peaceful. I'm like, They're racist as hell. What do you? I mean, this is.
I feel their
pain. Not a good look. As a politician, say it's like you saying you stand by this. Okay, you're supposed to do a quiet protest, but you love them too. I mean, you're saying the same thing that Trump is saying.
Right.
Yeah, because once again, he's like, there's great people. There are great people out there. Like, no, they're not great people. If they're out there going against our government, I mean, it's one thing of protesting the government, trying to make sure our government holds up to what they're supposed to be. But this is just crazy, man. You're basically doing the same thing that the Southerners did back during the Civil War, where they wanted to break off. It's treason. It's basically treason.
It's sedition. It's treason.
Yep,
it's criminal. You know, and you can almost say that Donald Trump has some criminal intent with inciting this riot that's going on too. But
let's talk about that.
To E. Coleman's point, though, real quick about these politicians that's failing to say anything to condemn these actions. If they do that, that is them saying that they are condemning Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because they all know that this is his child. This is he birthed all of this. Right. And for them to condemn these people's actions would be for them to there's no way you can separate the two, because this is all a part of the strategy of Donald Trump to have rebellion, to delay these electoral votes, to try and get Mike Pence on the wire to not solidify these votes on this evening. He's doing everything he can. These are all just part of his plan. And the thing about it, these politicians, they don't want to condemn these actions because they know that their success is tied into Trump's longevity. Right. They're looking at him resurrecting himself in 2024. They're looking at him still being relevant during this Joe Biden term. You know what I'm saying? He's going to go to Mar-a-Lago, but he's still going to have so much control over it. They probably still going to see him as a presidential a person while he's out of office as a lame, as a former president. Right. So for them to condemn the actions of these people is for them to take a shot at Trump, and they're not willing to do that.
And the crazy thing is about the video, after Biden gave his speech on the situation, because Trump wasn't doing anything, then he drops this video. Not very vocal at all, but we all get the message what he's putting out there.
Right.
But when Black Lives Matter, you was very vocal. You was all over the place talking nonsense. But when your Proud Boys is doing this, you only said a few words. Oh, just go home in peace.
I'm trying to remember what he called football players when they took that knee. He called them thugs.
He called the Black Lives Movement thugs. To that degree. But I'm looking on Twitter. I'm looking on social media. Yeah, we're looking on social media, Keith, and we didn't see any thugs or anyone calling these demonstrators any of those type of derogatory terms.
Right.
They're still called demonstrators and protesters.
No, actually on CNN they did call them.
You got one news outlet.
Right. I agree with that.
You got one news outlet.
I feel you.
CNN is blue. But all these other ones are predominantly Fox-owned stations.
Yeah, but you got to remember, even them were calling. They were following the same protocol that these red stations were doing.
Who's that? Who was following?
Even CNN. I mean, they at times they were calling, calling rioters.
During the whole Wisconsin thing.
Exactly.
And the thing about it wasn't
sons of, the B word.
But the thing in Wisconsin, Kenosha, when that CVS, one of those stores got burnt, Target or something, it wasn't even black people.
No, none of it was.
They got on camera that there were white people that was infiltrating, doing this so that we would get the negative publicity.
Even that bank, when they were busting the windows of that bank, they were all white people.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so the climbing up the walls.
Yeah, that.
Yo, that was wild.
The climbing the walls, man, the breaking the barriers. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
And gonna get away with it.
And we'll get away with
breaking in offices, sitting at some of the senators' desks, breaking in their offices.
No charges.
The one
no
dude
charges
sat
filed.
where Pence was sitting like an hour ago.
Yeah, the
They
president.
took a picture.
Yeah,
Now let's see if he get locked up.
Man,
Let's see if he get locked up.
Yo, the
other thing I wanted to go back on, Trump. He incited a riot. What happens when you incite a riot? You're supposed to get arrested, correct?
The criminal charge.
Now, is that going to happen to him?
Yo, nothing sticks to Trump, man. I'm telling you, nothing sticks to Trump. The other thing, I know he's pushing to keep this power of the presidency because there are a lot of state criminal charges that he would face. He might be able to be pardoned on the federal level, but he's got a lot of state criminal charges that as soon as he comes out of office, he knows he's going to get subpoenaed and things like that.
Yeah, they're supposed to. I hope that happens, but is it?
He's handing out pardons like
play a factor. I mean, he's done a lot, but is white privilege going to play?
But here's the thing, though. Once he's out of office, I believe that, if the Democrats would stop being, I'm not going to say it, but
say it. When'd you ever bite your tongue, bro? Come on, we need some more. We need some more sound bites from you. We need sound bites for 2021.
So basically, if the Democrats stop being a bunch of pussies, so basically, if the Democrats stop being a bunch of pussies and actually do what they need to do, like the Republicans, they went after Clinton for having sexual encounter in the Oval Office. Come on,
that was why he was in office. That's why he was in office. They tried with Trump.
I know. Well,
he's in office.
Yeah,
they tried, but the Senate they were outnumbered in the Senate.
But here's the thing, though. But now that he's out, there's
Monica
so much
Lewinsky.
other things. Yeah,
Ward, they should have
so many.
They should have let him go, Ward.
Who, Bill?
Yeah, that Lewinsky, man.
We all said, come on.
Why are you saving the dress?
See, but yeah, exactly.
Why are you saving that dress?
If it wasn't for that jealous chick for saving that dress, none of this would have happened.
She went and told the lady about the dress.
Because she wanted Clinton.
True indeed.
That's what it was. That's what it was, man. It's always that. Yeah. But now that when he's out of office, he doesn't have any type of power to block anything.
Right.
So now it's like, let's prosecute him. Prosecute him on every extent we can.
But the problem that he's going to have is on the federal level. He's already got a lot of state criminal investigations that's pending in New York. Let the state, because here's what he's trying to do. He's weighing whether or not he can pardon himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which he can't.
You don't. It's like
you can't do for future crimes.
It's like a constitutional question whether or not nobody's saying blatantly that he can't pardon himself. You know what I'm saying? He would have to make some type of admission on a federal level of a crime. Which he probably won't do. But. It's just that I think you would have to let things roll out on the state level. Let these state prosecutors go after him because I'm telling you, they got a lot of stuff on his tax evasions and things.
I said they need to hit him with misappropriation of funds.
He's leaving the office with $250 million.
Yeah.
Think about all that money.
$250 million
that we as American people put into his golf establishments. Him going to golf.
He's not the first. Every politician's pockets are being lined by the lobbyists. He's only doing.
Oh, I understand.
What's been practiced.
Right. That's fine. Getting lined by lobbyists.
Patriarchal white men and these politicians.
Yeah, but my gripe about it is whenever he went to go golf and then he had to take Secret Servicemen with him, they had to stay in hotel rooms or whatever. So all the money that's spent to lodge them and for him to golf goes to him.
Angela Mitchell says Pence is going to have to pardon him. Also, I wanted to Arlene.
Can Pence pardon him?
Trump would have to somehow step down.
Okay.
He would somehow have to step down. Well, he got 13 days left in office.
Yeah,
so like there's a situation where he might somehow have to step down and allow Pence to be president, and then he will pardon like that.
If anyone know that process, let us know. Make a comment, let us know so we can get some correction on that. Arlene also says they just made a mockery of America to other countries. It's amazing.
Oh, big time.
These last 4 years have actually been a mockery. You know,
that's the bad thing. The whole world is looking at it's like we're a joke. You let these terrorists storm the Capitol. We look weak. That's crazy.
Ecoma, what's interesting is I said to myself, if they can take Capitol Hill, who else is watching that can do the same thing?
Right.
More white domestic terrorists can do it.
Because think about it. If that was the NFAC running up on them steps, boy, they them guns wouldn't have been blazing.
Or you need to join them, man. You need to
listen, I got mine. I join them in a heartbeat, yo. Jersey needs a concealed carry law.
I know, man.
It'll never happen, man. It's so much.
I know it's so much.
Jersey laws.
I know.
So strict.
I know. They won't.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. But have y'all noticed?
I mean, because you got Delaware carry conceal, you got Philly carry conceal.
Yeah. You know, but have y'all noticed the Proud Boys leader is a Puerto Rican dude?
Wait, see that was my question. He's not. This
is
no.
He's a Puerto Rican.
He looks Puerto Rican.
No, he is Puerto Rican.
He is Puerto Rican.
He is.
Okay.
Because I know his name is Henry something. But he had like a Italian last name.
He's a Puerto Rican.
Really?
Somebody out there correct me if I'm wrong. He just got released.
He's probably a half breed, but going,
of course,
on the other side. Something.
Yeah. Listen, well, I mean, look at Rubio. He has
where you from. It's where you at.
Yeah, Ted Cruz, Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, Cruz, Rubio.
Yeah, I said Ricky Rubio.
When I saw that on the news, I was looking at him too, like, yo, he looked like Puerto Rico. What's going on?
He looked like Puerto Rico.
He looked like what's the dude's name? E. Coleman. He just died from breaking.
Oh, he looked like Shabba-Doo.
Yeah. Sure indeed. Yeah.
Oh man. So,
rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, so at any point, honestly, man, at any point, when you watch that, was there any, being transparent, any sense of satisfaction to see this is not us?
Big time.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm looking at it like,
that's why I laughed.
They all white people. And there was one black dude that was in the Capitol.
Blacks for Trump.
He was with them and broke in.
Yeah. But then then the only other one I seen was a cameraman. Okay. So I'm like, let this be, be known that it's not us out there causing all this ruckus. Right. Because whenever it was calls for us for Black Lives Matter, going, protesting George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all that, they had a lot of opportunists that wanted to jump in and start some mess to make it like, see, look what they're doing. They're bad at it,
Right.
But and then it also shows on our part that what she said,
put her feet up.
But it also shows that on our part that we're not that type of people,
right?
To be that opportunist to jump on the bandwagon to piggyback on something. Nah, they got that. Let them do their thing. Because we ain't got nothing to do with that.
It would if it was a Target. If it was a Target or a Walmart, we'd be in there, big screen TVs. Shut up now. Shut up, Kerry. Shut up. If it was a Walmart, Target, boy. We'd be getting 75 inches coming out of that cat. Yo, it wasn't under the Capitol Hill for
That's different. That's different. We just want some merchandise. We ain't trying to burn the establishment.
But they ain't climbing up no wall for no flat screen.
No. Nah.
Hey, fellas,
Spider-Man.
speaking of opportunists, what did you think of Chris Christie? Because I sure as hell think he's an
I
opportunist.
don't know what that's about. I don't.
Oh, you
What
didn't
did he
see
say?
it?
What did he say? Because I missed it.
He was trying to like, oh, I've been calling Trump to get him to stop and
What?
this, and that. He won't accept my calls. This isn't right. And he said, I've known him for years. He said, but this what he's doing right now. I don't understand. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's been like that.
We know
Stop
Christie's
lying.
a piece of shit.
He must be trying to run for president again.
You got to remember when they ran for president, how he badmouthed Trump, and how everybody else, that he had all this dirt on Trump, but yet when it was time when Trump didn't get the nomination, Christie flipped like. Oh man, he flipped like a dolphin.
When Trump got the nomination.
When Trump got the nomination, he flipped immediately.
He thought he was going to be in charge of the transition team.
Oh yeah, he thought he was going to get in there.
So now, because he thought he knows
he's not going to. Yeah, because now he knows he's not going to be, in any type of administration for Trump. Now it's time to go against him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's an opportunity, man. I mean, you can't blame him. You really can't blame him. He's got to keep himself relevant in some politics is all he knows. He's a former prosecutor turned governor. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to keep himself relevant. He's got to keep himself relevant in order to stay paid, to stay visible, and to make a push for that portion of the Republican Party that wants to detach themselves from Trump.
You know what I'm saying? He's playing the game, call for the people.
But he's playing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a base of Republicans that don't want anything to do with Trump. They want to separate themselves from this. You got the one Republican, what's his name? Mitt Romney. Mm-hmm. Mitt Romney has been very outspoken against President Trump during this entire time. You know what I'm saying? So you have that base of Republicans that they say they want to restore the principles of the Republican Party or whatever, and not this new Trump party. So I can't blame Christie and his opportunistic snake self. He's a politician to heart. Yeah. And this is the expectation of politicians. They will turn on you for their own agenda and interests. So he's only doing what he's taught.
Yeah. This is a crazy day, man. A lot going on, man.
And it's not over.
It's definitely not over.
It's not over. The electoral vote is going to still continue tonight. Mm-hmm. To try and certify Joe Biden.
They're back counting now.
Biden security up when he get in office. I know that.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, sure they will. But you're also looking at these 120 Republicans, right, that are going to try to object to the electors. One was Hawley, Representative Hawley, and a few others that's trying to object to the certification of the electoral vote. Mm-hmm. So that's something that's just going to prolong it. And then at the end of everything is on Pence. That's the climax.
You know what's crazy about this, other? Not to cut you off. You know what's crazy about this thing? So when Hillary lost, and we all know that was some bull, you know what I mean? She shouldn't have lost, but Trump won. It was all good when, now he's complaining, want to, sue this person, that person. It's crazy. But what I think what happened back then is the Republicans, the Democrat, the men, they didn't want a woman in there. Period. That's why she wasn't. That's why all that stuff was.
Now I've said that for a long time.
I've been about that.
Right. Even to this day, the American public is not ready for a woman president. Hate to say it, they're not as a whole.
I think with Hillary, I think her campaign failed in a lot of areas. I think that they really overlooked the power of the South. Right. They didn't campaign hard enough in a lot of these black areas. I really think her campaign and her strategy failed her. Because when Trump started overtaking her in those numbers and those electoral votes, it was in a lot of areas that Hillary should had done successful in. That was, I believe, historically Democratic areas that she didn't stomp hard enough in. Had her team really strategically been, in those areas that she should have been in, what I'm saying, and made some and collaborated with persons of that Stacey Abrams caliber, it might have been a different story. But I blame it a lot on her campaign strategy and her team.
I agree with you, KD. They did say that. I was watching the documentary. They was saying how her camp didn't go to the South, and
they underestimated the power. Yeah, they underestimated the vote.
But you know what? I get it. It's like this. It's Trump. We all was like, he's not going to win. Are you kidding me? You understand what I'm saying? We didn't think he was going to win. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, he ain't.
The art of war. You can't underestimate your opponent, man.
But the Simpsons did.
That's true. But I'm saying, because I know I was one of the people, like, when he first was running, and I was like, are you kidding me? Next thing you know, you saying the prime, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Pause.
I think we all
okay, but he's not going to win, though. That's how I thought. Yeah. I voted. I always vote. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's what I was like, it was fixed.
And that was coming off of, no, right. I think a lot of people felt that way.
That's because they ain't want a woman in there. They ain't want a woman in there, period.
Well, not just that they didn't want a woman, but you got to think about this. And I've been saying it like ever since we got out of high school. I never liked the way society is going. I never liked the direction. We see more and more that reality TV people think is reality.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get it that it's a lot of it is just made up, it's scripted, and they think like, oh yeah, they did it, then I can do it. They wearing it, I should wear it.
So it's like
the more right.
The more ignorance, the more popular you get, and it's sad.
Yeah, it is. You do a sex tape, and now you blow up. You're more popular than the president of the United States.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
that's a new way to get famous.
Yeah,
and that's another reason why I think Trump got elected. Also, along with the other shady stuff, he's himself. He's always been that person. You know what I'm saying? He never he never hit it. He's always been
grabbing him by the pussy. That's what was the mate. That's his MO, man. He's just forceful.
He's
because
a master
he got money. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Well,
he's a master salesman. I mean,
yeah,
he will.
Yeah,
he's able to erect a Trump Taj Mahal. But eventually he can't sustain it.
Yeah. And then claim bankruptcy.
Yeah, but I mean,
but then he become president. Exactly.
Right.
Because he was able to sell the public the fact that I am not of this establishment. And I'm going to drain the swamp.
Right.
When he exactly was what he was claiming that he was going to undo. But he sold it to the American people, to those that voted for him, because I believe that America was looking for something different than the average politician.
They were.
We were right. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed and appreciated the Obama years.
Yep.
Could he have done more for Black America? Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that was left on the table that should have been accomplished for us. And it wasn't entirely his fault. He didn't have the backing of the Senate. He had a Senate majority leader in Mitch McConnell that openly said that he was going to block everything that Obama did. So I can't put it entirely on Obama. But again, I think America was tired of politics as usual. And he showed them something that was different, out of the norm of how you communicate and how you talk and how you deal with people. People liked his candor, his frankness, and just his apolitical ways. That was completely different from politics as we know. So that's what we were looking for, and we were enamored by that. You know what I'm saying? But we paid a price for that. You know what I'm saying? And the two-party system, it sucks.
Right. It does.
It has to end.
I heard like years ago, long even before Obama got in, I was hearing a lot of talk where people were saying we don't need a politician in office anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody with a business sense. So they set it up back then, but I always thought like, wait a minute. So you don't want a politician, you want a businessman. So you want to actually cut out the middleman so the businessman can just go in and do whatever he wants to do for his business to grow and not worry about the people. Just step all over us, because that's what a politician does. He's a middleman between business and the people.
Well, corporate America, corporations run America.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, you know that. Pharmaceutical companies, these big corporations, they run us.
Right.
You know, all they have to do is lobby these
but
politicians.
You still need, but they just can't get them to do everything they want to do.
Yeah.
Just about.
But they're not everything.
Yeah, fellas, on another note, on a lighter note, on a celebratory note, we want to just give a shout out to Stacey Abrams, and also the Senate taking the House today.
Black woman breaks the tide.
Yes,
it definitely breaks the tide, man. So we just want to celebrate her, man, give her flowers, man, and continue to support her her efforts, man. Any thoughts on that?
A black woman made another black woman to be the president of the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that? You know what I'm saying? A black woman and Stacey Abrams organize the South, to get these two in those Democratic seats and to make Kamala to be the president of the Senate. That's all.
Shout out to HBCUs.
HBCUs. What's the Spelman and Morehouse?
Yeah, wasn't it Morehouse?
No. Stacey Abrams.
No, he went to Morehouse Warnock.
Oh, Warnock. Oh, I was just talking about the ladies.
Yeah, Spelman.
Both the ladies are HBCUs, but the see the sisters not tear each other down.
Right.
They built each other up this time around. You know what I'm saying? So, she gets that ability to preside over the Senate and get some issues, get some legislation passed from Joe Biden, and hopefully one of those might be that platinum plan, not the platinum plan, but the Ice Cube plan.
Yeah,
something for Black America.
How about that? I wonder what's going to happen with that next. Is they going to meet with him?
Yeah.
Ice Cube's still waiting for a call. He's still waiting for a call.
Yeah, so we definitely want to in today's mess that went on in Capitol Hill, still going on. We definitely want to look at the find there's always a something that stands out. That's always a positive. So shout out to Stacey Abrams, man. For continue to push and do what she do. Anything left, fellas, man?
Yo, what do y'all see? What do y'all see for America? After this, like, what's this country gonna be like? It's too late to turn around and heal. Huh?
High alert.
High alert. Give me more. What do you mean, brother?
I really can't say what's going to happen.
What you saying? We gotta watch our back.
Things always backfire, man. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Biden is in there. We got the Senate. See what. All we could do is see what happened and wait.
I don't know. I got a feeling we're gonna make a turn for the better.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, anything is better than what we just went through. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I think if we just continue to push, man, continue to have these conversations, and not just have conversations, but go into action throughout the country, different parts of the country, that, there's some light. We've come so far. And the one thing about our people, man, is that we got a drive and a motivation that is unmatched. You know what I'm saying? We get shot down, we get pushed down, and we just continue to get back up, and fight. So I do think, man, at some point, it may not be in our lifetime, where things can be equal, where these injustices are not, don't stand out, or are thrown away. I think at some point, man, that we can continue to keep pushing, man, and get to that place, whether it's our kids, or whether it's our kids, but as we go through this turmoil, and like y'all said, it's good to see it's them today. You know what I'm saying? That's highlighted going through this nonsense. But the younger generation, man, I'm so proud of them. Their fight that they have. They got a different fight than our grandmothers and them had. And they're going to stand there. So I do see promise coming. I'm always going to see promise coming. So tell Aiden we said what's up. We do see promise coming, man. So let's keep fighting, man. Let's keep voting, and let's keep
scared for my boys. I'm scared for my boys, man.
We're not talking about the Eagles. Who you talking about? You said,
wow.
I didn't even think we was doing sports commentary.
Wow.
Who you talking about?
I didn't think we was talking about the Cowboys or anything.
Scared for your boys.
I know. I'm concerned for the future of my boys, man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I just see a divisive America that's just like fueling, this guy's fan the flames of America that's going to be just so much more divided, probably within the next decade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm concerned for my 8-year-old. I'm concerned for my 20-year-old, and how their lives are going to unfold in this America. It just seems to be brewing and smelling like the potential for an in-house war. And it's just, I'm conflicted, confused, scared, not for myself, but for the future of my boys. I want them to have a happy future, but right now, I'm concerned about the outlook for their future.
Yeah.
Black boys.
Yeah.
That's why I said high alert. High alert.
Well, what you think, Ward? What you see coming?
Well, man. Just like KD's concern about his boys, it was kind of like, this is the reason why I really don't have kids. It was, maybe it's selfish of me, I'm not sure, but it's like I seen, like I said before, I never liked the direction that society is going, and I didn't want to subject my seed to all this bullshit. And it's nothing but, it's piling real high now, and it's crazy. It's just, I don't understand why people are, it's. I'll put it this way: if you ever seen the movie Idiocracy, that's the way society's going.
Yeah,
it's like we have all the technology in the world, but the people are just so stupid.
Right.
They're like lemons, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts, man. That's our thoughts, man, on today's events that unfolded on Capitol Hill today. We just time. Yeah, take some time. Thanks for hanging out, with us and tuning in. We'll be back this Monday. We're going to continue to, watch these developing events, these developing conversations, and the electoral vote that's going on, that's going on tonight. So check us out this Monday. We have a special guest, Herb Martin, who's going to be talking about some finances and helping us out in a lot of different ways. So, if you can tune in on Just Our Thoughts fan page on Facebook and Just Our Thoughts on YouTube, meet us here this Monday at 7:00.
Money right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got one last thing.
What's up?
Before we head out, I just want to say something to our educators out there. Can we please teach our children how to think and not what to think?
Hey, I'm about to Ward. No, hold up. Hey, Ward, we're closing because I'm about to ask you a question. What does that mean though? Like that's easy to say, but what does that mean?
Proverb. That's a proverb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I've been seeing a lot of kids come out, and I'm only dealing with the ones that I see. It's like they want to quote everything that's been told to them. It's not like, they don't like have a problem solving skills. They just want to deal in what was said, little, think facts, but they don't want to deal with actual here's something here, figure this out. They can't figure things out unless it's like black and white. They can't deal with gray areas. They can't. They're
you talk about critical thinking skills.
Thinking skills. Yeah, a lot of that is born.
That's a class in itself. That's a class in itself.
So hold up. Let's talk about that. I thought we was great.
I just wanted. I know, but y'all said
because I don't
want me to elaborate, but
but you threw it out there. So
I know.
Why is the question? Is that the teacher's job to
not quite. I know where you're going. It's not quite the teacher's job to do that. It's not. It's the teacher's job to enforce. To follow up.
Okay.
It's also a job of the parents.
Okay, but you said teachers,
right? Because I did say teachers.
But there is.
But here's the thing, though. But does teachers, are they the only ones that are educators? I'm pretty sure KD teaches his kids.
Yeah, but
and I'm pretty sure you teach your kids. But I'm pretty sure E. Coleman, taught his kids.
But you ain't mean me when you said educators.
Yeah, you didn't. So
you didn't mean me.
Well,
you were talking about a classroom setting. You were talking about a school system.
You didn't tell me what I was. Nah.
Come on, boy. Just be honest.
But I did. In the first sense, yes, it was for the classroom setting.
Okay.
Because the only reason I brought it up because throughout my years of me being an electrician and seeing these young kids come up, now I see more and more these kids don't have critical thinking. They don't, because a lot of times they look at me like, yo, how you figure that out? How you know how to do that? What made you want to do that? I'm like, well, you got to adapt. Things, this world is evolving. Everything changes. So we have to learn to overcome what's in front of us.
All right,
a lot of these kids don't know how to, see that obstacle and either go over it, around it, under it. It's like, if I can't go through it, then I'm stuck.
I got something for you. Go ahead, Keith.
No, I'm trying to actually hear the question differently than we have to teach our children. I'm trying to hear the question a little bit differently so I can kind of dive into it. And I think we definitely have a lot of educators that that tap into our show, and I'm trying to hear the question a little bit differently so I can kind of dive into it a little bit more. And I want Ward. I don't know. Do you stand on that question, Ward, or do you want to change that question? And that's up. And that's obviously your choice.
I want to bite on this.
The question. What'd you say?
I want to bite on this. I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting here. Go ahead, Ward.
What question?
No, the question. No, your statement. Your statement. I'm sorry.
My statement. Yeah, I stand on it. We need to start teaching our kids how to think and not what to think.
So that was different than the teachers. That was different. Was different. So no, all right. So I can answer that.
Because society as a whole, because society is I always say, society is actually going to an idiocracy type of mindset, and it's like they're showing these people, not these people. They're showing the world, us, that this is the way it should be. No, it's not. That's just because she's an ignorant chick or he's an ignorant dude disrespecting his brother or cousin, or fellow man or fellow woman.
Right.
That's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're going away from our morals that we grew up on.
Right. And that's what we think. What we think.
More leaders, less followers.
Hold on. I want to hear what Katie got to say.
What I was taking away from you. You said don't teach us what we should think, but teach your kids how they should think. And I'm feeling like that what we think propels us to how we think, because just like you said that our morals, our principles, and our values, those things were
True.
taught really are the infancy stages of what we think. You know what I'm saying? Until we're developed to start thinking independently.
Right.
You know, that takes maturity, and that takes an investment in learning as well, to be able to have a mind that moves from being just programmed on what we are thinking,
But
or
that's what I'm.
what is true facts, and what is real, what is concrete, into having our own independent thinking. Now
But
with critical thinking, because I sit with my son at his desk for homeschooling, and it's
right.
starting back up, and I have to kind of reteach myself to help him.
Right.
But critical thinking has its roots in just problem solving. Problem solving is found in math. Problem solving is found in literacy. Problem solving is found in every subject that we have. There's a level of problem solving that we have to be taught what the formula or the equation is in order to get that answer, to figure it out. So there's a formula, there's an equation, there's a process on how we get to that final answer. And there's a lot of us that fail at putting that formula or that equation together. If it's not, and not just in the classroom setting, in life circumstances as well, because there's an equation for us living a life that can be successful and beneficial. And a lot of us, you know, a lot of our children are missing that. And that, again, that some of that critical thinking, I don't believe you can find in the classroom setting.
No,
A lot of that critical thinking comes from your experiences.
it comes from experience.
You've got to go through a lot of failures and a lot of temptations, and being pulled the wrong way in order to understand that in these situations, I've got to be able to have the knowledge or the skill to be able to, you know, work my way out of the situation, or develop an alternative so that this thing does not harm me, or how will it benefit me.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that, because it's like, you know, when we grew up, like I'll just take for me example. My parents were never around me saying, well, you got to do this, right? You got to do that. Make sure this is, make sure. No, my parents basically, you know, as a youngster, yeah, they showed us things, but they let us explore. They let us mess up.
You're about to make a point. You're about to make my point. Go ahead.
Right. They let us explore. They let us mess up, come back, and try again. It's like I noticed today in today's society, it's like the parents are making sure, oh, you got to get up, make sure you brush your teeth, you make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Come on, we got to take you go to school. We got no, man. I was waking up to go to school by myself in elementary school.
I think,
but nowadays we still got high schoolers that rely on their parents to do everything for them.
But it's a level of independence and maturity. Maturity for some people kicks in later on in life rather than early on. It sounds like what you're saying is that your maturity level and your ability to independently work outside of the constant need for these are the rules. You know, your maturity kicked in a little quicker than some others. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it was that extension cord.
But in addition, the structure and the routine, you had structure in your home.
Routine is huge. Routine, specifically routine. I think the one thing that stands out to me is teaching them what to think and how to think. I believe that we don't have to teach them how to think. I think putting them in position to experience will teach them. I think that's huge versus taking on another individual's mindset in terms of I'm the parent and I'm telling you how to think.
Yeah, but don't you think the parents are putting them in that position to learn how to think?
So let me ask you. Let me. At what point? I think I've been. It's interesting that we're having this conversation. This is crazy. I've been kind of just doing some different readings. I think 2 or 3 year olds are the most freest human beings around. They are so free. They don't have any barriers. They don't have any boundaries. They want to touch everything. They want to get burned. They want to learn everything. They want to try everything.
Because that's the stage that they're in.
Right. Yeah. Give me a second. And they're smiling. At that point, parents are telling them, no, that's not right. Don't do that again. I'm gonna pop you in your butt. It's time to go to bed. It's time to eat. So parents at that time are conditioning the kids in their freest time to learn and to get these, what I'm calling, I don't know what to call them. These, because I got like 3 or 4 different things in my head to get this belief system. I'm gonna call it this belief system. You know, to get this belief system on what they believe is right or wrong, which is really based on what the parents believe is right or wrong, which they learn from their parents, which they believe is right or wrong. And we're passing it down to the kids versus the children, the 2 or 3 year old toddler, still learning from his parents, but not just simply giving them or showing them or showing them how to think, but putting them in positions where they can think on their own. I think that's the most important thing to do, because when you give them that independence, they're going to learn on their own. Was that stove hot? Well, I'm not going to touch that stove anymore. You know,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's different from teaching them how to think. I think the experience that children are in plays a huge part. Putting them in position, putting them in situations, the critical thinking that comes from trying to figure this thing out. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be late to school. What you were talking about, we walk to school. I walk I don't know, 1.5 miles or something like that to school. But for me, I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We drove by this school, this castle on the hill several times. Now I got to walk this way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in that position to do so. And I think that's important, the experience that comes with it versus someone teaching me or teaching a child how to think. Yeah. You know,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Coleman. I listened to all you fellas' points, and I kind of agree with everybody to a point. But it's like it's a generation situation. Like, you know, when we grew up, it was a different way. We had to do a lot more problem solving than these kids do nowadays, which is crazy to me. Technology. I'm not an educator. I worked in a facility with a lot of educators, and I talked to them. And so basically, I'm in the shadows listening, watching, and it blows my mind. These kids are being turned into robots. They're not thinking for themselves. It's crazy to me. And I think you got to teach them in the home first before they get to school. But then they get to school, they're being reprogrammed what they learned at home. You know what I'm saying? It's something to do with the generations, and I don't think it's going to get any better, because it's like technology is good, don't get me wrong, but it's like these children is only relying on technology. When they got to do manual, they're lost. They don't know what to do. They panic. Exactly. They didn't learn anything. You didn't learn how to problem solve. You don't take a deep breath, figure it out. So I definitely dig what Henry is saying. You know what I'm saying? But then it's this situation. Keith, KD, y'all have younger kids, so they coming up in this situation. So as y'all as parents, y'all got to teach them that. Can't let them be followers of this next generation. So to me, it's a parent situation, because you knew how we grew up and what we went through and how we did things. Yeah. And, you know, just like my kids is older, so I tried to teach them those types of things, and they up in the technology too, but they also grew up some of the rules and foundations that their mom and me set forth for them. Yeah. So it's definitely a generation situation. And I feel as though as a parent that knows these types of things that they grew up on, you have to teach them in the home because they going to school. Teachers can't teach them that because what I found out in certain certain districts, they got to follow a curriculum. They're not even letting the teachers be teachers no more.
Right.
They've always done that.
It's crazy.
Nah, it's a little different now. Nah, it's a little bit different now.
They had the flexibility to kind of go outside of the curriculum
when we were,
but now this new generation of teaching and this curriculum
straight line
is really stringent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It stems from a curriculum from Betsy DeVos, Secretary of Education. You know, it's a different time. The teachers that we had growing up are not the teachers that because me and Ward can tell you about Mr. Kites. Mr. Kites,
oh man,
had the flexibility. He stayed within the curriculum, but however, he was able, and Mr. White and teachers like that, they were able, and Miss Pinckney, they moved out of.
They could step out that box.
Step out of the box and be creative. And be creative. Now, just in reference to E. Coleman's point, real quick about the home situation. You know, a lot of what we're talking about, the parent has to take time with the child to instill in them certain values and principles, experience. It's not being done today. It's not. The missing piece.
I got a question. How do we generalize that and say that it's not being done? That parenting, with everything you said, is not, and it kind of goes back to Ward's question. It kind of goes back to E. Coleman's comment, and I feel like I feel like I need to be sold on that it's not happening. I need to be sold on that. I will see some kids do. You know, some kids are they do need a lot more pushing. There are, you know, coddled. But it was kids like that during our time.
Yeah. I'm just basing it on my 15-year experience out here working with families, Keith, even longer than that there's not enough time being taken by the parents. We have a different generation of parents that is not spending the quality time necessary with their children. And Keith and Eric brought up a great point, is that a lot of teaching is left on devices, is left on tablets. Mm-hmm. All that time, that precious time that and I'll tell you, my 8-year-old, he loves this tablet. You know what I'm saying? He likes being on a tablet, but he knows when to put it down and engage with me. And I know when to end that tablet time because I want to pour into him. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of parents that don't really give that time that is necessary to form their child. You got kids that are on tablets and cell phones at 2, 3, 4 years old. They're formative years that are being formed by YouTube and other TikTok things and these dances. They know all these dances and but they don't know how to critically think, because what's missing is the conversation and the time spent with a parental figure. That's why you got a need for these mentor programs. That's why you got a need for these youth advocate programs, because the parent is not really putting in the time necessary to help shape that child at the formative years. And I'm basing that on my over 15-year experience working with families. It's happening.
I think the generation before us can probably say a lot about us when we were kids. I think each generation can look back and say, this generation, you know, our mother, you know, our mothers, our fathers can say, you know, look back at our generation and say, this isn't happening. They're not doing what we used to do.
And it was probably true.
And it was.
Yeah.
So how do we help the mom that has to work 2 jobs, that don't have the quality time to spend with her kid, to help them with the critical thinking that we're talking about, where she's out trying to put food on the table? I think some of those.
You got to link her with these mentor programs. Then you got to link her with these community programs, you know, that will have the time, you know, either volunteer or paid programs that do have the time. You know, I know one that Alyssa had on her show, Boss Mentorship.
Yeah.
They're actively looking for men to be able to mentor a lot of these young boys. You know what I'm saying? So for that mom that is not equipped because of financial hardship, you got to link them with a community-based service that will have the time to shape and sharpen and mold the minds of these young people. If you don't have that time.
But right there, man, it killed. You're saying that these mothers don't have the time or the resources, the funds or whatever, but yet why does the kid have a $500 tablet?
I think we generalize
to be taught to be a robot. Like
it's not hard. It's not hard to get it.
I know it's not hard to get, but come on, man.
You can get that. You can get that at the Chinese store for $50, $75.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I hear what you're saying, but we always didn't have tablets, and it was still parents working 2 jobs, and they still did it.
Right.
They still sat down with their children and engaged.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are we saying that tablets are taken away from critical thinking?
No, not saying tablets.
No,
I'm saying technology. Like I always said, technology is going to kill us.
Yeah,
technology is going to be the death of us.
But it could be a very great tool. It's a
it is a great tool.
Social media, the technology is a very great
tool. I mean, if it wasn't for it, we would be right here.
Yeah, but if it's put in the hands of a young person because it has so many traps, it can be detrimental. I know, but think about a 4 or 5 year old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Imagine if we had the internet. Do you know how much porn we would have looked up when we was kids? I'm just saying, man. Come on, think about it. I don't know about y'all, but
I'm thinking that I probably would have did better in school had I. Look, in my house. Listen,
I agree.
In this house right here, my grandparents had a library,
right,
with encyclopedias.
Right.
We had to go to the A encyclopedia to look up aardvark.
Yep.
Or we had to go. We didn't have this that immediately we could go and Google a word or find it on YouTube I had to come over my grandparents' house and go to the or I had to go to Rutgers Library. Or remember we had to go to libraries?
I remember that.
Right. Yeah.
We had I had a library in Forest Hill School.
Like I was lucky enough.
I had a library card. Do you remember library cards? Do you remember you would get a fee if not return the book to the library?
Right.
Who needs that now?
And we walk to school. All these buses is killing me. I'm like, what the?
Like you said, we had the encyclopedias. But even with the encyclopedias, not only did you have the information, but it taught you how to look it up, how to go through. It wasn't just like just type it in and boom, it's there.
We don't need that now though. Like they don't need that now. They can go at the tap of a finger and find something.
Right. What if it breaks?
Then they lost. They're lost.
No power.
They're lost.
Get out of here.
They are ass out.
Charge up that phone.
Done. That's why it's like this. I'm not saying the new ways is horrible, but you still need to know the basics. These kids don't know the basics to do stuff.
Why do you need to be able to go through an encyclopedia at this time? Why does any kid need to go through?
I'm not saying
no. I didn't bring that up.
I'm saying other things.
I don't want to be that old school hip hop artist that can't stand these young boys. That's what
the mumble rappers.
Yeah, I don't care what you say about that. That's another debate for another time.
I know.
We'll leave that. Leave that alone. Leave that alone, Keith.
But I didn't bring up my grandparents' encyclopedia library that's still here. That I have it. Because it's it's emotional.
I feel
because and I'm not saying that we need that because Wardy said that technology is the death of us. Right. I brought that up to show how it can be a tool.
Right.
But it has to be, you got to show them how to use it.
Right.
Too many people are using the tool of technology for
wrong
their
purpose.
own desires, to be either a celebrity
Yep.
or to find porn, not in the right ways. You know what I'm saying? However
Wait a minute. Is there a good way to find porn? Let me know.
I didn't say it was a good or bad way. I'm just saying, if the tool is used recklessly,
right.
If you're not taught how to use the tool.
And I feel like that's with anything. I feel like if we use anything recklessly,
Yeah.
it could bring up something negative can happen.
Yeah, but for the purpose of the advancements that we made, we've been talking about tablets and technology for children and things of that nature. It's not being taught really look, they gave all the kids in Camden and other schools the Chromebooks.
Yep.
Which really suck. They're horrible.
Yeah, they are.
But they had to put blocks on YouTube because kids are smart.
Oh, yeah.
And even with the block, they were figuring out how to go in YouTube while they on Zoom class.
Yep.
So parents had to take the Google Chromebook back or call them up and have them put the block on so they wouldn't be. That's what their focus is. Their focus is not really to understand or to learn in this day and age in this remote classroom learning environment. Their focus is still to get on YouTube to be socially entertained when that's not what the tool was really invented to do. You feel what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I
got that you hear me, but
no, I just feel like you put any kid at any time, whether we talking about decades ago or now, put any 10, 11-year-old in a room by himself with something that can distract him, take him off his focus. He's going to be distracted for however long. It could be for a moment or whatever. It could be a magazine from when we were younger. Doing homework. We're home by ourselves. It could be a magazine, a Jet magazine, an Ebony magazine, and it'll distract us. And I think that's the same thing today. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen.
It's on a larger scale. It's on a larger scale though, because it's more than just that Jet or Ebony.
No.
You're 100% right. Because I just thought about it.
Yeah,
man. What was it? Junior and senior year when Game Boy hit.
Right.
Me and Larry was in every class
playing
Game Boy, and it's like, put it down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember y'all with them Game Boys. We
were easily distracted.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say we weren't.
I think any
but the thing is,
imagine if we had cell phones back then.
Oh my God, we did. But here's
we had flip. What?
No, remember Donnie had the bag, came to school with the bag full.
Them New Jack City phones.
But nah, it's like, but the only thing is we knew how to differentiate the electronic world from the real world. A lot of these kids don't. It's a blurred line, and they can't. They think what they're playing or seeing on a screen.
I got you.
Is reality.
Yeah. No doubt. I like to sit down with my son when he's on his tablet, to distract him from just playing games or looking at, Spider-Man on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To show him exactly how to use it to gain knowledge about something.
Right.
Because he likes to sit with me and watch CNN.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
He will tell you what's happening even today, because I sat down and I explained him watching CNN, how there's a coup attempt in the capital city. You know what I'm saying?
But that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Baby. But we don't have a lot in this generation of parents, and I'm not saying all.
No.
Because there is a remnant of parents, young parents, that care about the social, emotional, and academic growth of their child. And don't get me wrong, but there's a remnant of that. You don't get too much of that, but I want to show my son how to effectively use that technological tool for his advance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we don't understand the math problem, let's go on YouTube. because we can figure out the equation. All we gotta do is
Right.
plug it in.
Right.
And while it might not be congruent with the curriculum that you're learning, we still have a way to get a concept of how to answer this problem, so you
Right.
can use it for your benefit. But you got to teach them it. He saw something different when he was able to use the tool to get an answer that we were struggling with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what has to be done by caregivers, parents, to take that necessary time to show them how to effectively use the tool.
Cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's up. Now, good stuff, fellas, man. Good stuff, man. It's just our thoughts, man. Ward,
Yes, sir.
Bring that
Hey.
up. Appreciate it. What's up?
I want to say one last thing.
Yeah.
Cole Keith, Henry, KD, I appreciate it.
Hey, man,
thanks for
Appreciate
joining.
the invite.
You come back
man.
again, brother.
Yeah,
Come back
fine.
again. Put a picture back there. So I'm looking like you at the,
Yeah, you like
at
it.
the county or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
man.
Go ahead to put 5'4" back there.
Put a lady on a zebra or something behind you.
Hey, I tried to have a simple background. What am I kidding? All these walls is white.
Hey, so this
I
is
love you, E. Coleman.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. This is just our thoughts. Thanks for joining us. We extended a lot longer than when we were trying to extend them. But thanks for joining us. This is just our thoughts. We'll be back Monday at 7:00 with Herb Martin. We'll be hanging out with Herb Martin, the finance guy that will be helping us out with some different things. So join us this coming Monday. Just Our Thoughts on YouTube, Just Our Thoughts fan page on Facebook. Go to our YouTube page, like and subscribe, share this conversation, share what we got going on, and we appreciate you. This is Just Our Thoughts with the fellas. Peace.